everybody, how's it going? This is Darrin with GuitarControl.com bringing you this video lesson. And today I want to show you one of the most iconic, most important guitar riffs of the 20th century. This riff is, in my opinion, because I'm sure that this is, subject to opinion to a certain extent, but in my opinion, the song that that started it all, that started the whole genre for metal, is this song. So we're going to be looking at the song Black Sabbath by Black Sabbath from their debut album from 1970. So one of the things that really makes this riff so cool is that it uses a diminished fifth. So for those of you who don't know what I mean by that, so if we take our major scale and when you create a chord, to make a major chord, you use the first, third note, and fifth notes of the major scale. So in this case here, G, B, D makes your G chord. And then if you wanted it to make it minor, you flatten that third, and you get G minor. Now if you take the third out completely and just play 1 and 5, then you get that power chord, that fifth power chord that we all use and know and love. Now if you take the note, so this is 1, and then this would be the fifth note of the scale. If you flatten that note to here, you get that diminished fifth. It's very dissonant. It used to be referred to as the devil's third. Satan! A long time ago, if a composer used that interval, that was very frowned upon, thought it was of the devil. Satan! You could land yourself into some trouble, serious trouble, by using that interval. But we've come to love it, and it's a staple in the sound of metal. Be sure to click on the link in the description to get the tabs. And let's get close up and break this down and go over this whole riff for Black Sabbath. Alright, so this riff is actually pretty easy, and it's really, really repetitive. So there's only, a couple of different parts that we need to actually even look at. So for the first main riff, we'll start off here. We're going to be playing G5. So your first finger will be on the 3rd fret of the low E, and then your 3rd finger on the 5th fret of the A string. Now you can also pick up the 5th fret of the D string with your pinky, and it's going to have like a fuller sound because that note is the octave from your root. So like we're going 1, 5, 8, and 8 is the same note as 1, just 1 octave higher. So we've got so like 1, 2, 3, 4. So for beat 3 and 4, after we hit the power chord, for beats 1 and 2, we're just going to hit that octave note. So we're just going to hit a single note, 5th fret on the D string. I'm just going to use my 3rd finger. So you have the 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you're going to take your 1st finger and move it to the 4th fret of the A string. And then we're going to do pick, hammer, pull. We're going to do this whole flutter thing here between the 4th and the 5th fret. I'm just using my 2nd finger. So the riff. So that's like the first half of it. So the second half of the riff, after we do we just go back, same thing, the G5 power chord to that high G, and then we're just going to go to the diminished fifth with an exorbitant amount of vibrato. So that's our whole riff. Now it repeats on the intro. this is where it goes into the verse. So when it goes into the verse, all I like to do is just back my volume knob off on my guitar just a little bit. So it's a little quieter, a little softer, and not so much gain. So now for this part, we just simply hit the G note, the low one, the high one, and then we go to our fifth. Or excuse me, our diminished fifth. So you can actually just put all three of your fingers down like this. So your first finger's on the 3rd fret of the low E, your second finger's on the 4th fret of the A string, and your 3rd finger's on the 5th fret of the D string. And then just pick 6, 4, 5. Now you don't want to hear the notes ring out over the top of each other, so when you do it this way, you want to make sure that you're muting the strings as you go. So that's like the entire verse. Now it does that a whole bunch of times, just over and over and over again for that verse. Now after it does that a whole bunch of times, you'll have to look at the tabs for the amount of times, because I don't recall off the top of my head. Then it just goes back into the main riff again. So I just reach down, I turn my volume back all the way up. And then it just goes back into the verse again. So again, I'm going to back off my volume. And it goes through that again. So those are the two main parts of the song, just over and over and over again. It goes into from there. It goes into this cool riff. So for this riff, we're going to start off on the 3rd fret of the low E. Oops. So we've got. So you're going to do 4 times on that G. And then with your 4th finger, go to the 6th fret of the low E. And then from there, we're going to go to the A string, 3, 5, 6, 3, 5, and then to the 6th fret of the low E, and then back to that 3rd fret of the A. After we go back here, we go back to the 3rd fret of the low A, and of the A, and then to the 5th fret. So slowly. So you want to put just a little bit of palm muting on there too, so it's not. So it gets that like cool dampened sound that's, like a signature part of metal. Now that sequence is, like I said, the song picks up, so it's quite a bit faster. So with this, I'm just alternate picking the whole thing. All right, so after it goes through that last part of the song with that, then he goes into a like a solo that just kind of solos out through the rest of the song. So we're not going to go over the solo. The main thing that we wanted to get here today was that riff, because like I said, this is like kind of a, this is an important riff that was very changing to the musical world. and it's definitely something you want to have in your arsenal. If nothing else, just to kind of see, you know, to look at, you know, the theory wise of this is how that riff is put together and why it sounds the way that it does. It just has such a dark sound to it. I just love it. The first time I heard it, I was hooked. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed that and you got something out of it. If you liked the video, give me a thumbs up. Leave a comment down below if you have any questions about this video or this lesson. If there's something you'd like to see covered in a future lesson, leave the comment down there about that as well. If you have not already done so, please subscribe to the channel so that way you don't miss out any of the content that we upload throughout the week. Well, that is all I've got for you today. Thanks for watching and have a great day.